Day 1 of 8 here in Daqing in China. It's the International Championship. Hard to believe this is already the 8th world ranking event of the season. It's still only October. It just shows you how busy the calendar has become. Oliver Lyons, one of the rising stars of the sport, to get us underway. This is the last 64. So they've already had to play a qualifying match to get here. Oliver Lyons came through 6-4 over Liam Highfield. Neil Robertson nearly went out. He was 5-3 down to Sam Craigie, but came through and won 6-5. So he's happy, I'm sure, just to be here. I'm sure he'll be looking to press on. It's a big tournament. It's 125,000 to the winner a week today. A lot of snooker to come before then, and to enjoy this match with me, it's hello to Mike Hallett.
Thank you, David. Yes, another great week ahead of these talented stars. Good challenge this for young Oliver here against one of the best in the business.
Well, they did play quite recently in the pre-qualifying for the European Masters. Robertson won 4-1. He also won their previous meeting a couple of years ago. That was also best of 7.
Bit more wriggle room this week, though, with this these best of 11s.
Oliver Lyons here. He beat Mark Selby in this tournament 2 years ago in the actual pre-qualifying in Barnsley. That's it was his first season as a pro. He's just looking to push on. He's got himself in the top 64, but it's a little perilous because, of course, you've got to remain there at the end of the season to stay on the tour. So he's currently 64th. He's looking, with these big money tournaments coming up, to consolidate his position.
Might have left that same red on to the green pocket.
One.
Oh, good opening red. Struck that well.
Yeah, as we see this flying again, he had a real disappointment last week in Manchester. He's 3-0 up to Zhao Guodong, playing really well, and lost 4-3. So he'll be determined to make amends for that, I'm sure.
Yeah, that was obviously a shock to him and to us, because he doesn't do that too often.
I wonder if Liang Wenbo's calmed down yet after his terrific win, wasn't it? Wasn't it great scenes when he was jumping up and down at the end there?
Yeah, with 2 balls to be potted. As you mentioned, no, he hasn't won it yet. He came through brilliant. I think the semi-final set him up, didn't it, against Stuart Bingham? He stood his ground there against Stuart on the Saturday evening there, came through that one, and well, he came of age then. Played really well in the final. Still on course for the £1 million bonus.
Well, if he was excited in Manchester, the verge of winning, imagine if he won the next 2 and then went to Wales with a chance to win. It's a long way off all of that, of course.
Thank you.
Big tournament, this one, though, in China. And that's why I think we've got more frames, because of the stature of the event. 125 to the winner, as David just mentioned. So, and there's a lot of money on offer in the next few weeks.
Yes, it didn't quite work out, so he's, well, so he's played safe. He
6.
obviously didn't want to catch the yellow there.
Might see Oliver have a go at this red near the blue. Might be able to get onto the pink. As you mentioned, Dave, good player, this lad. He just needs to push on now, doesn't he? Just try and get himself onto the next level.
Yes, it's tough when you're coming into the last 64 and you're playing Neil Robertson.
Well, that was close, but I think he's just about covered the red. Or has he? Perhaps not. Neil's got the angle to come down for the black.
1.
Well, he's back in. The problem he's got with the reds at the moment, they're sort of covering each other. Would help if he can hold for the one nearest the black. It's like he's running through. I think there's one to the middle. It's like any of these top stars, though, Dave, isn't it? If you give them table time, they get stronger and stronger. Then you've got your hands full.
Yes, I think that's why it was a surprise that he lost that match last week, because normally if Robertson gets on top, he stays on top. So to lose 4-3 from 3-0 up was a surprise. Well, that's not worked out, I don't think.
14.
Yeah, has to make sure he covers his red as well near this left corner.
Very busy period. Next week there's another tournament in China, an invitation event, 16-man, where the top prize is 200,000. That'll be live on Eurosport as well.
Good safety there from Neil. In fact, I think it's a snooker. So Oliver's got to be careful here. Peggy Lee is our referee for this one. Probably 2 cushions. Well, is he trying to play a clip off it? He's just trying to drop on it. Well, if that's 2 cushions, I don't think that's hard enough.
Foul. Enemies.
Well, that's going back.
Robertson 4.
Wasn't that far away from it. He's got to hit it dead weight, because anything harder, and then it might leave one to the middle here for Neil. So it's got to be dead weight. Just have a look at the replay. I just thought there that there wasn't enough weight on the cue ball, especially off the 2 cushions. Wasn't that far away. Probably play the same shot again. Well, he knows the angle. It's just about the pace. Better. Has he slid by it? Oh, I don't know whether he's left one on here.
One.
He had done. As I mentioned, if he slid by that red, he was bound to leave one on. Just got to be careful here, Neil, I should say, because he could slide off the reds and the white could finish towards this corner pocket. Got to get the right cannon. Oh, that's just finished a little bit awkward. If it rolls about another 2 inches, it's perfect. I think he's on this one to the left, though. That's the one he wanted to be on, but hampered by the pink. Well, he's overhit that a bit, especially for the blue.
Well,
He's got a good angle on the brown, though.
Well, it just shows what happens when you lose prime position. It's just harder to keep going, and
5.
gone wrong again here.
Sorry, 11.
Yeah, can only play a safety now, but yellow and brown a good target to get in behind.
No, Robertson,
There was a
11.
time, Dave, when we used to say, well, who's your favourite to win this week? But I don't think we can do that anymore, can we? There's so many tournaments and so many players playing well at the same time.
Absolutely. As I say, this is the 8th ranking event of the season. I mean, it's not so long ago. There were only 6 in the whole season, and we're not even at Christmas yet. There is a lot of prestige about this tournament. It's big money. It takes a long time to get to from the UK. 21 hours, various flights and trains and so on. Having moved here from Chengdu a couple of years ago.
This looks useful. It looks very useful. Yeah, that's a great shot there from Oliver. Well, how well did he play that one? He could do with this being touching. Well, it's obviously not, so this is a little bit awkward now. Well, Neil couldn't have played that better because it was a perfect angle, perfect weight. If he again slides by that, he would have left Oliver red to the middle. But just look at that for pace and accuracy. Brilliant. It's difficult to see how we can get away from these reds and take the white up the table. Well, there could be a bit of this going on for some time. Don't think there'll be a call for a re-rack, not with Neil with 35 points to the good. But at some stage, either player would like to try and get this cue ball away from this top end. Yeah, I don't think Neil's left a red on there, but there's a red that Oliver can slide off and just take the white down the table. So that's sorted that out. We can open up the black as well. Well, that's made it easier for either player to get in. Now, that's not a great safety shot. He should have made sure he got that cue ball close to that back cushion, because there is a red on there for Neil if he decides to take it on. Oh, well. That could be costly. A chance for Oliver then to get his hand on the table and get back into this opening frame. Well, you can't miss those. That was a great chance. If you do, you're going to get punished.
One.
8 tables in operation this week in our early matches, early rounds, and obviously the 2 main match tables.
5.
It's just finished a little bit in between. Too far for one, not enough for the other. It's okay.
Six.
Well, this is a chance I'm sure he wasn't expecting when he went back to his seat, but Oliver Lyons unexpectedly
11.
missing that first attempt at the red.
12.
Just giving Robertson a chance to settle down early, which is not what he wanted. It was a definite chance that for Lyons to get a feel of the table, get himself going.
That wriggled a little bit, but it went in.
19. 20.
Well, as always, you can do nothing from there, from the chair. You just got to hope you get another chance. But the one he had was a good one. Somehow, I don't think Oliver will get another chance here. All the reds
25.
waiting to be potted. And that was frame ball.
$30. 31.
Well,
No,
he's missed that,
31.
but it doesn't matter.
Frame
The
conceded.
damage was done when Oliver Lyons missed the red and let him back in, because Robertson had given him a good chance to score, but it is the Australian who takes the opening frame. Day 1 then of the International Championship here in China. Neil Robertson leads Oliver Lyons 1-0. Frame 2 of a possible 11 getting underway. Neil Robertson 1-0 up against Oliver Lyons. In the end, he completely dominated the first frame. Lyons did have a good chance, but missed immediately.
Not found his range yet, Oliver. That wasn't too far away, though.
Yes, his father Peter isn't any longer a pro, but he did play in the tournament because he's on the Q School top-ups. So if they don't get a full field of pros, they go down that list. He lost to Stuart Bingham 6-2 in the pre-qualifying at Preston. Still, they haven't played each other on the tour. Of course, it's less likely now that Peter's been relegated.
Got that a little bit on the thick side. The cue ball's only just got past the bolt line, so there's no doubt Neil will be taking this one on.
Well, he knocked so many of those in.
Right.
And there's another one. Didn't finish great, but still taking the blue on.
6.
Got to get these top stars under pressure. Neil Robertson, he's a pretty relaxed kind of guy, and he will feel it if you put him under it, but that's what Lyon's got to try and do.
7.
But he won't be doing it from his seat.
I was about to say, there's no signs of it at the moment. Two or three reds Neil can play on here. He might play on the one that's near the top cushion, actually. Or the two that's near the pink. Yeah, I think he's gone for the one near the top cushion. Get rid of that one. Concentrate on the black. Once he's got a little bit of angle on this red, he's fine. He can run through off two cushions for the black. And then just try and open up one or two more.
Seventeen.
Just got to be careful here. This could go wrong, especially if he's running into the black. Doesn't like the angle. I think it's too much angle to try and screw into the red as well. I think he's going to try and play a possible calculated cannon here, just to push the black on. Well, he's done that well.
18.
A double cannon.
$25. 26.
He's got them open now. This is a really good chance to make it 2-0. And if that happens, you never know. It could become 3-0, then Neil's off into the distance, really.
33.
I mean, Oliver will get chances, but he's going to have to start taking them soon. Because this man will give you nothing.
34.
One of the most impressive things about Neil Robertson is his concentration. He always seems to come into matches well prepared. Sometimes he gets a little bit of stick for his preparation, but I think, and you're seeing it here, just the level of concentration. When he made all those centuries, 103 a few years ago, you know, that's an iron feat of
42.
focus. Keeping position, keeping hold of the cue ball.
Just going back a few months, at one of the European events like last year, David, I was watching him and he was in the final of one there and he was just so relaxed in the players' lounge, players' room, that there was like 5 minutes to go and then he was called to play, and I think he was eating a Mars bar at the time or something like that, and then he just put his bow tie on, bang, straight into focus.
49.
He was like, within other guys, they sit in corners, don't they, listen to music and stuff like that, but he was just chatting away with about 3 or 4 minutes to go before they were hitting balls, and he was just so chilled out, it was unbelievable. Bow tie on, then it's the business. Sorry, I was say he's blessed with a wonderful temperament.
I don't think he puts himself under too much pressure coming in, but as I say, his concentration, it's an underrated facet of his game, I think. Helps he's a great potter as well.
50.
Well, there's one pot and position shot here away from probably winning the frame. And he's not potted it. Yeah, it was looked an important shot, that.
Robertson 50.
Surprised, though, that he missed it from there. Now then, Oliver must do something with this. It's not a difficult ball on the table here. He'll be annoyed by missing that blue, but didn't quite get in good position.
1.
Well, I think he's on the green, but he's on the blue as well.
He's been in the last 16 this season in India. That's his first in a ranking tournament. Was a promising footballer as a teenager, but at the age of 14 switched to snooker full time. Got a very good base at the Northern Snooker Centre in Leeds.
Great club, that. A lot of the top stars of at some stage have come through and played there. Various stages in their career. Ooh, Oliver. Got to be knocking those in.
4.
Yes, I think Lyons would quite like to start this match again. Nothing's going right for him. Robertson already 46 to the good as he returns to the table.
1.
And if he can win the frame here, he forgets about the blue he missed. Doesn't matter, because it won't have cost him.
Eight. 9.
Pink then, and it's snooker's required, and it's a chance miss for Lyons, certainly to have got back into the frame, made it a lot closer.
Just needed a touch more on the cue ball there. Thought he might play the double, but he's going for this red to the left corner. This to really stop Oliver from coming back and having any thoughts at all playing on for snookers.
So a glimmer for Oliver Lyons. He needs one snooker. Nice chairs here, aren't they, in Jiaqing? Very comfortable. Of course, you don't want to spend too much time in them, though. That's the thing.
I'll tell you what, this is great when it's in Dubai. Big, massive chairs on there. You could get 2 or 3. You could get your whole family in one of those chairs.
Well, everything was great in Dubai.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. I hope Barry's listening. Can we have another tournament in Dubai, please?
8.
One thing about the Chinese venues, they're not cramped, they're huge places. You can hear various bits of applause from other tables. In fact, the Ang Wenbo's lost the first frame to Mei Ji-wen.
Oliver Lyons 8.
Well, not a good start for Oliver Lyons, but as we've been saying, these are longer matches, best of 11, so, you know, in the best of 7 you'd already be sweating 2-0. But he does have to get going soon regardless, because Neil Robertson can only grow in confidence. And he's pretty confident to start with.
Nice split. Already done the damage though.
6. 13.
Yes, he's not really been pressured so
Robertson,
far,
13 and a
Robertson.
frame.
He's not been flawless by any means, but he's done enough to lead 2-0 Oliver Lyons with a little bit to think about as he just leaves the arena between frames. It's first to 6, remember, to reach the next round, and it's Robertson who leads 2-0.
Third frame. Oliver Lyons to break.
So Oliver Lyons looking to get involved in this match. He hasn't really so far, and it's 2-0 to Neil Robertson.
Well, he's going to have to, as we've mentioned, because there's a danger here that Neil could run away with this one. Ah, now then. Neil won't be best pleased the way he's played that.
One.
I think he might have covered this red near the corner. Don't understand why he took the risk there,
6.
going into the pack. There's, you know, if you're going to go in more pace, but there was 3 reds he could have played on. Just pick them off, get some rhythm, get used to the conditions. He took a risk that I thought wasn't necessary. And now he might have run out of position. Well, he's possibly thinking about the plant here to hold for the black. Well, this will be some shot if it comes off. It was, but
7.
unfortunately, he's blocked the pocket. Well, he can hit the green through the gap with a little bit of swerve, but of course he's got to cover things. Well, don't know what he does here, unless he just touches up to the black.
Oliver Lyons 7.
That's probably about all he had, but there was risk involved with that. Well, he didn't really threaten the pocket.
One.
Make sure of the black, get rid of this red on the left-hand side, and, well, he could be away here. Could just do a 70 or 80 break, just to settle him down, really. Of course, he knows also that if he misses one, it might cost him the frame.
Eight. 9.
Well, bit of pressure on this black if he takes it. No guarantee here. He's overdone it.
Oliver Lyons, 9.
Well, I suppose it was difficult to play the safety down the other end of the table, the red there, but that was a tough pot. And he's handed them all to Neil.
1.
That's gone wrong. Well, anywhere but there. I bet he's wishing he can have that one back. I think the blue goes, but it's tough. Might be able to see enough of the green just to try and play a safety.
Neil Robertson, 9.
Well, that's annoying for Neil Robertson. But snooker, as we know, can be quite annoying at times. And you have to try and stay focused and just basically take it on the chin. It's not easy. Mark Selby earlier, he didn't play well really against Paul Davison, but he got the result. That's what it's about. Well, that could have finished a lot worse, actually.
Yeah, he's got to get stuck in here. Just have a look at this red to the right corner now. I think he'll take this on. Well, I mean, he's so good from that range. Knocks in a high percentage of those.
Yeah, and I also think he felt he had the freedom to take it on because he hasn't been put under it. If he was 2-0 down, maybe he could have thought twice, but as I say, just not being put under sort of pressure you've got to put him under. Sam Craigie did in the qualifier, and he just came through from 5-3 down there, Robertson.
Tell you what, this bed looks pretty quick. He's overrun that by about a foot or so. This is a tough pot off the side cushion now. Unlucky. It was never going to be easy.
Neil Robertson, 3.
Well, it's first day in, but this table looks of good pace.
Well, that's just showing you how easy it is.
Yeah, if only. Just wonder whether Neil might play on this red near the back cushion, actually. He's still in love. Sorry, Oliver, I should say, will play on this red because he's got the green there. Anything fairly straight on the red would be okay. Leave himself a good angle on the green. He's chosen to come down here, but I'm not sure what he's played there. That's a poor positional shot.
3.
Unfortunately for him, it's going over the corner pocket.
I guess that's the one danger with the double. You can't guarantee where, if you miss, where it's going to finish. It's finished horrible, really, for lines.
1.
Just wonder if this is a possible plant here to the yellow pocket. No, he's going for the double, I think. Well, safety first.
Robertson, 5.
This table is quick. It's just caught him out there. It's really quick. Well, this is the plant I mentioned, which Neil didn't even have a look at. Don't think it's dead set. I think it's going to have to be made. Yes, well, it's not that far off, actually. It's just going to the side cushion, but I think that can be made. Come back for the black. Well, it was always set to the side cushion. It's a good cue ball, though, now that it's not gone in.
Yeah, and I'm not sure he would have fancied the black afterwards. The cue ball screwed right back to the top cushion.
There's red to the middle here. Oh, we could get through to that one.
1.
And this looks good pace. Well, again, not a difficult ball on the table, really. Okay, there's the red down there near the green, but this is a good chance to make it 3-0.
It's 9. Sure.
Well, a little kick it would seem, but he's okay. Peggy Lee, the referee, just cleaning the white.
Yeah, just think about this table, David. I mean, the likes of Ronnie O'Sullivan and Mark Williams will love a table this quick, 'cause they like just floating the balls around, don't they? You know, this guy's got great touch, but Mark has, and so's Ronnie. Oh, hang on. Well, again, could have been worse.
Yeah, the double kiss has given him some hope of potting this one to the middle. It is quick, this table.
$15.
Well, if this is dead straight, it's perfect. Just drop it in for the Reds. It's got a 13-point lead. Well, it's going to be about the red on the back cushion, which really decides on whether Neil can win the frame here or not. And if he took 2 blacks, it would be 34 the lead with 35 on. So he's going to need that red. Well, only the red if he takes 2 blacks, or even the black and the pink. Well, again, it's looking like 3-0, but I mean, Oliver's had 1 or 2 chances here. The first couple of frames, he's had one in this, hasn't made the most of them. Well, this is all about pace. Just drop dead weight onto the cushion. Yeah, nicely done. Only needs the red
34.
for 3-0.
$35.
Well, he's not being pushed. He's playing well enough, Robertson. But Oliver Lyons has had a lot of chances.
Now Robertson 35.
And now he needs snookers in this frame. 2 of them.
Could be a little bit too late. Well, hoping to get him behind the green.
As we watch this, we congratulate Matt Selt, who's just won a tournament here in China, the Haining Open, of which little was known. It was a bit mysterious, the tournament. In fact, several players claimed they didn't even know it was on. But Matt knew it was on and he won it, although earlier today he lost to Kurt Mafflin 6-2, so maybe the travelling here to Daqing after that did him in a bit, but anyway, he won the tournament.
Oliver Lyons 2.
Well, another long one flies in.
3.
Well, let's put this frame to bed.
Well, the 4th frame is certainly big, because if Robertson wins that as well, then it's a long way back for Lyons the way it's gone so far. He's not really got involved yet.
And a frame.
And another frame has gone the way of the Australian, so Neil Robertson thoroughly in control and already halfway towards a place in the last 32 of this international championship here in Daqing. The Melbourne man leads 3-0. Welcome back to day 1 of 8 here at the International Championship in China. Neil Robertson thoroughly in control at the moment, 3-0 up against Oliver Lyons, so 3 frames away from the next round. I can tell you Mitchell Mann has won the 3rd frame against Ding, so Ding cleared up to win on the black in the 2nd, but Mitchell Mann back in front, 2-1. Coming into the tournament, Oliver Lyons yet to make a 70 break this season. This is the 8th ranking event, so that's got to be a concern, the scoring power that is so important, of course, in modern snooker. Just not quite happening for him this season, and he has had chances early on in the match to get going and has been just losing position. It's a match like this, though, that can turn your season around. If he were to come through, and obviously it's an uphill battle, but if he were to come through and win, then that gives his entire campaign a kickstart. But if he goes down meekly today, then it's a long way home when he hasn't performed to the standard he knows he can. So this is a big frame for him, the last one before the interval.
Well, that's certainly opened them up. Not sure whether Oliver can see this one on the right hand side. I think Neil might have just covered it. Well, he's having a look at the red that's just left for the black. This is a chance, but it's not there. He's not there yet. Oh dear. So now I thought he'd overcut that for a minute. Well, he's gone long on the blue. That's why, because he's caught that red thin. But he's nicely on the pink as well. Well, it's not quite Christmas yet, Dave, but I think Neil must be thinking so with all these chances he's getting. We know, as you've mentioned, Oliver's a better player than this, just hasn't settled yet.
7, 8.
Well, my local supermarket thinks it's Christmas, judging by the display.
It's getting earlier and earlier, isn't it? To get money off you.
13.
Well, there's a lot of tournaments still to be played in 2016. Of course, next week there's the invitation event in China. Then we've got the Champion of Champions, we've got the Northern Ireland Open, we've got the UK Championship, we've got the Scottish Open. So they're coming thick and fast.
Yeah, just took a couple of those away. You won't have to worry about the Christmas presents.
22.
Well, it's a little bit of a walk in the park for Robertson. He's not being put under it, and he knows he can get to 4-0. Feel very good at in the dressing room at the interval.
$29. 30.
Didn't like that one. He's underhit it. Well, you might have to bring the cue ball back roughly where it is now to play on the left on red. Wrong side of the blue, which means he's going to have to play a red from distance. Not looking good for him at the moment.
$36.
This table is beautiful. It's an unbelievable pace. And he just floated that in, and this nice bounce off the cushion.
$43. 44.
It's amazing though, in different conditions, different venues. You know, we saw in Bucharest that the tables were slightly heavy there. I know they had a lot of rain during the final weekend. And Manchester, there was good. I don't think it was quite as fast as this though.
No, this is like ice. This table really is quick. Yes, you don't think of the weather as playing a part in snooker because it's all indoors, but the atmospherics can
57.
certainly affect playing conditions.
Oh, torrential rain outside, it can get in anywhere. I don't mean literally, but it's just the dampness can get into the building and slow the tables down, even though we do have the under table heaters. It's looking like 4-0.
65.
Yes, it never rains, but it pours for Oliver Lyons in this match. He's not got going, and Robertson's picking him off. And he's got a bit to think about in the interval. Because he can't say he's not had chances, he has done. This is frame ball for 4-0. Yeah, and that worked out nicely.
71.
That little shot, and this should kill it off now without all the playing on for snookers.
$72.
And of course, after what happened last week when he lost from 3-0 up, 4-3, he'll be determined not to take the foot off the gas. That's the bad news for Lyons when they come back.
80.
Well, he's striking the ball beautifully. No pressure.
'87. '88.
Obviously, no doubt he's one of the favourites to lift the title this week. He's in the Invitational, of course, in a few days' time, so could be quite a prosperous couple of weeks, actually.
95. '96.
Well, yes, if you win them both, then that's £325,000. So that's in 2 weeks. Of course, he won back-to-back tournaments last season, Champion of Champions and the UK Championship. So there's the century, his 17th of the season. Well, look at this shot.
104.
Now, although he's out of ideal position, don't bet against this going in. It did. We didn't see it, but it did go in. It was kind of nailed on, wasn't it? Because the pressure's off. He just would pop more of those than he'd miss for sure. Well, he's just completely relaxed. I mean, he's relaxed at the best of times, but not being put under pressure in the match. Ollie Lyons with plenty to do in the second half.
14.
And to think he nearly didn't qualify to win the last 3 frames against Sam Craigie at Preston a few weeks back.
123.
So the break ends at 123, and it illustrates the extent to which Neil Robertson is on top in this match. Lyons has had chances for sure, but has made very little from them. So at the interval, Neil Robertson leads by 4 frames to 0. Well, the players are back, as you can see after the interval. Neil Robertson already in here and already 4-0 up against Oliver Lyons. So ominous signs, it's got to be said, for the 21-year-old from Leeds.
Yeah, especially where the Reds are.
13. 14.
He has a lot of snooker to play to win this tournament. Best of 11, semis best of 17, final best of 19. So it's a bit of a slog through. So if you can get a couple out of the way quickly early on, then you reserve a bit of energy for later on in the tournament, when in theory the matches get more difficult. Robertson's already won the Riga Masters this season, and you would imagine that won't be his last trophy. Far from it.
A couple of defences coming up, as you already mentioned, Dave, with the Champion of Champions and the UK. Quite hard to win these tournaments these days. There's so many good players around. If you just slightly off it, you could be in trouble. He's landed straight on the blue, doesn't really matter. There's choices of reds to either side here. You can hold the white or run it through. Struck that well. this time, got himself nicely on to the black. Well, he spent a lot of time in that chair, unfortunately, Oliver. He's been a bit of a spectator so far. He has had his chances. Might not get another one in this one, though. Neil has the perfect angle to just play a little cannon on the left-hand red here. I think he's just checked the other red into the right corner, so I don't think he'll go into the pack. I think he'll play a cannon on the loose one. Yep. Could have done with it being a little bit fuller.
59.
Depends on the angle here. He's going to have to drive the cue ball through a couple of reds when he's coming back. Just got the right side. Already up to 60 points, so this is not looking good for Oliver Lyons at the moment. Well, it wasn't at 4-0. It's going to be even worse at 5-0. Just needs a red and a colour here to leave Oliver needing snookers. Frame ball. Well, he's tried to split them. He only needed the black. Oh, that's unlucky. Would have liked one more red. Well, it's very close to that red. I'm not sure whether you can possibly tack that on. Well, he's trying to find one, but I'm not sure that there's one there.
Robertson, 73.
Well, a good 73. Neil Robertson, like anyone, enjoys making centuries, and be disappointed not to have made another one there, having had the 1, 2, 3 in frame 4. 2 snookers needed, though.
Not sure what that was.
Yeah, so it's going to be 5-0 for sure. And the way it's gone, probably 6-0. Robertson just has not been put under pressure at all, and it's got better as the match has gone on.
8. Robertson, 8.
Well, that was a quick kill in terms of that frame, wasn't it? A swift 73 and then just doing enough at the end when Lyons was unable to get the snookers he required. So Robertson just one away from booking his place in the last 32 of this international championship. Yes, he's looking very relaxed, is the Australian. Oliver Lyons a long way back from there. He's trailing here 5-0. 5-0. Neil Robertson in a very strong position, just needing one more frame for victory. If he does win, he'll play the Gary Wilson or Anthony Hamilton.
And he won't be best pleased with that safety shot, catching the brown on the way down, trying to slide by it. Overdone it. Well, we've mentioned already how fast this table is, and that's just sprung off the cushion and finished nowhere. And, well, 1, Oliver's not had the table time, and 2, he hasn't really got to grips with this table.
Oliver Lyons, 1.
Oh, this looks handy if it keeps going.
1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1. 1
Well, would you have thought that keeper would have got there, actually? The bed of the table is very quick. But Neil's settled into it. Well, that's a pretty good return. Well, I suppose the first thing Oliver wants to try and do is avoid the whitewash, and you never want to have one of those on your CD, on your CV, I should say, even on the CD or DVD. But no, they're the ones you don't like. It's a long way back, of course. Can't really see him winning the match from here, but at least try and get a couple of frames on the board if you can.
Yes, and it's literally a long way back to Leeds. It takes nearly a day, so it's a long time to think about a match that you'd really rather forget. Ooh, he's hit that all wrong. So he's in again. The Northern, where he practices in Leeds, currently staging the World Billiards Championship. Billiards, of course, the forerunner to snooker. English billiards, that is. It's the final on Wednesday, I believe.
Wrong side of the blue, but fairly easy to get on that red on the left-hand side there. Well, don't tell me he snookered himself with the blue. Well, that's an awful shot if he's done that. Could have played it so many different ways. Obviously he's trying to swerve around the blue, but getting a poor positional shot from blue to red. Played that well. Could have easily have turned that over and left it on. Loose one. I was about to say the only thing here is the yellow comes to his rescue, but it hasn't. So I fancy this one to go in. Yeah, I think the pink goes. Played it well. Only problem is, when it's respotted, it's covering up all the reds. And he's played on the one just below the pink spot. Well, he wants this one on the board and get out of there 6-0 and concentrate on things ahead, but it's been very disappointing actually, especially from Oliver's point of view. He hasn't really performed here, hasn't put this man under pressure. As David already mentioned, that's what you have to do. This could be 6-0 in a few minutes' time. We all know that Oliver's a better player than this. But it's been a little bit rabbit in the headlights, I'm afraid. Don't know why. You've got to look upon these sort of matches as challenges. Look at the cue power there. Terrific. Oh, that's beautiful. Landed on this red to the corner. Could have done with a fraction more, I think. He wants this to be dead straight to hold for the pink. He could be going into the pink slightly. And he's gone the other way. Play the cannon. Well, yes, he has played well in this match, Neil, but he's been allowed to as well. But, well, for that man, it's been a disappointing day, as I mentioned. But as regards Neil Robertson, well, he's looking good for the rest of the week. Yes, and then once he pots this red after the pink, it will open up the other three to the opposite corner. It's not there yet over the line, but he's not far away. Black's out of commission. It's having to concentrate on the pink for the time being. Doesn't really matter how you get there. Which way you want to go here? Play on those two reds on the left, or one of these near the black spot? I think he's going into the one to the left, actually. Oh, he just nicely got through the gap.
Well, it's not quite over yet, but this is about as one-sided a match as I've seen. And sometimes you see scorelines that don't really reflect the play. Neil Robertson himself at the UK Championship last season, he beat Mark Selby 6-0 in the semis. That was a really close match, but this hasn't been close.
Well, he's had to work hard for these, but he's taken them very well. Getting ever closer to the winning line. So, well, this red is frame a match ball. It's all over for Oliver, I'm afraid. Disappointing day for him.
Yes, Robertson's played well overall, but he's been allowed to, in as much as he's not been punished when he was missing early on in the match. He missed a few first couple of frames, but got away with that and settled and has made some big breaks since, including this one. As I say, I'd love to make a century. It's just a question of whether he can get the red out, as Oliver Lyons contemplates a very disappointing evening here for him. There you are, he's played it well. Had a 1-2-3 in the fourth frame. Chance to make another century here. Great player to watch when he's playing well, Neil Robertson. Great natural talent who's worked incredibly hard as well.
Yeah, great story as well from where he's come from.
82.
Well, again, struck that beautifully.
So he was 2 down with 3 to play at the qualifying, came through against Sam Craigie there 6-5. But this has been complete opposite, it's been one-sided. Pink for a second century. Great way to finish. He'll be delighted that he didn't get involved in a long match in the first round here. It's been out of the way very quickly. And it was every inch of 6-0. Oliver Lyons really struggled, but Neil Robertson didn't struggle. And he's finished with his second century of the day, 107. Delighted with his evening's work, I'm sure. So Neil Robertson into the last 32 here in Darching. Certainly, again, one of the big favourites this week to go a long way towards that £125,000 first prize that will be awarded to someone in a week's time. And the main thing for him is he's through, cleared his opening hurdle. He's beaten Oliver Lyons by 6 frames to 0.